Welcome to another edition of Talking Models. Today, we're at my workbench, my workstation in my studio. And I want to talk a little bit today about something maybe you haven't given a lot of thought to. If you're like me, you like just painting your models, getting them done, displaying your models. But maybe you haven't given a lot of thought to your workbench, your workspace, how you set things up to make things easier, to keep things flowing. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. Well, like I said, welcome to my studio. Welcome to the area where I bring kits to life, where I sit and jam to music, paint my latest model kit, and of course then put them on display. So here we go. As you can see, this is my workbench. I cleaned it up a little bit today so you guys don't see the mess. You know what I mean. So what I like to do is have everything within my reach. You can see I have my lights. I'll turn them on here for just a moment. I don't want to wash this out, but that's the lights that I use. Of course, you get them, you can mount them, move them, whatever you need, getting closer when you're doing that detail work. Just something to light the area up. And to me, that's very important to do. So invest in a couple of these. You can get these at the hobby stores. You can get them at Office Max, Staples, online at Amazon, and it's a good investment. I'm going to get one more and add it to mine because as we get younger, our eyesight gets a little bit different. So you want to be able to see what you're doing, so light it up, and it makes life a lot easier. So invest in some lights, very important. The next thing I would suggest, and something I didn't use forever, and I finally invested in one, is a Lazy Susan. You can get these again at you can get them online at Amazon. You can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond. You can get them at Walmart. They're everywhere. Simply just a circular wooden Lazy Susan that you can spin. Invaluable to have. I mean, you can see, you put your model kit on it, your airbrushing, you can just spin it around, you can move it wherever you want on your bench. It's a lifesaver. I used to pick things up, turn it around, make sure I'm getting everything. Now I just simply spin it around and it makes life a little bit easier. So another crucial thing to do. Another thing I think is very important is where you put your paints. I used to have them, I have like a little Tupperware 3-shelf unit here next to me. I used to have them all in there, pull out the drawers, lift the paints. No, that's not the one I want. Lift the paints, that's not the one. You know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's you today. Maybe you even take the smaller bottles and dab a little bit of the paint on there so you can look at it and see the colors. I did that for years, guys. It is no fun. So what I did one day is I invested in some nail polish holders. I found these on Amazon. My Aunt Marie ordered them for me, and one day she just hung them up in here for me. We come in here with a bench, decided what we were doing, and it's been a lifesaver. We'll look over here. You can see them. I put all the different colors. I got all my Garage US colors. I have some Comart. I have the new Freak Flex line of paints here. I got the whole set from Ken. Can't recommend this enough. Great stuff. And I've just separated them by colors. You know, on these I have all my yellows, my greens, my reds, my browns, fleshes, and the same thing on this side. All my fleshes, my blues, all this row is transparents. Down here is the grayscales, the Master Series Reaper paints. Then there's another shelf here, I don't think it shows below, and I have my duplicates here, so when I run out I just bring them up here and replace what I used. And this has just been a lifesaver. I mean, look at, you're sitting here painting, you're trying to get that color you want, you look and go, oh, this one, oh, this one. Invest in these. These are a must. I know a lot of guys I've seen with benches, you have like a bigger area and you just put them in front of you on these shelf units. Another great idea. For me, it's all about the ease and all about the comfort and me being comfortable. When I'm painting, I don't want to stop, dig through this thing, find what I'm looking for. I'd rather just turn, yep, this green works, take it, and start painting. That's, to me, is why we do this, not to fumble around. So invest in these. You can't go wrong. I'll put a couple links in the description on here to these, so you can just click on them and order them if you want. You can see they hold quite a bit of paints. Down here is a smaller version, but I like having everything right here. That is now my overflow. The next thing to do is for my brushes. I invested in this right here, which is very nice. You just kind of spin that around. You can see I have a raiment of brushes, all my flat brushes. I have these new sculpting tools that I purchased that you can use when you're trying to get in tight spots to paint. Put a little bit on there, move it around. These are also great for thinning out putty when you putty those spots before you sand them. So I've got quite an arraignment of things in here. I have my super glue in there. I've got a pair of scissors, Sharpies, everything. Airbrush cleaners. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. I'll bring this out right now. This is just something invaluable when it's time to clean your airbrushes. And that, you can see, is all in my reach too. You know, I just get and spin that around. Normally it's back a little further, but again, I tied it up for you. And that way I can spin, get what I need. Everything is within my hand reach. A lot of the brushes that I use all the time, I keep to my left. The brushes I use for dry brushing. This is a great set you can pick up from Micromark. These are all my finer brushes that I use, and I just like to keep them right here. And all you old school guys might remember this Polar Lights. This is a Polar Lights brush holder that I got years ago. But again, in my reach. Everything is right there. I keep my little, call it my spinning wheel of pastels. I keep that there. I always put the different color pastels that I use. You can get these in packs. Just rub out your colors. I keep it right there, so when I'm doing my shading, I can just dig right in and paint. Again, I think you're getting the idea. Everything is within arm's reach, and it keeps things flowing. The next thing I did is, this is just, especially if you're in an area like me, this, I just love these. This is your airbrush cleaner jars. These are just great. When you're doing your airbrush, let me grab one here. You just take the airbrush, place it inside, spray, and you don't get all those fumes. Your airbrush is cleaned out. You put your cleaners in there, and it's just a beautiful thing to do. When it fills up, you just take it out, clean it everything up, put it back out. Now, I've heard before some guys say after you get all this stuff in here that this makes for good washes because you got a variety of colors. I've not done that yet. I just choose to clean it out. But maybe you put it in a baby jar and you got some stuff for washes. Another way to save money and use paints. Next thing I got here was an airbrush holder. This we secured to the bench, as you can see, and it holds 4 airbrushes. I have another one coming at the time of this filming. I invested in a Badger Vega for base coats. It's got obviously a bigger needle. It's going to clog less, and I'm going to use that for my base coats. But again, as you see, arm's reach. Airbrushes are very important. It's to your liking. There's many amazing airbrushes out there. Badger has always been good to me. Ken has always backs his products up, a great warranty, and a very personable guy. You get the boom today, Ken. So I have chose to use Badger as my airbrushes. I also have Badger airbrush compressor, which I keep here, and all my brushes are connected into it. Again, you guessed it, arm's reach. Reach under, turn my compressor on, and I begin painting. So airbrushes are personal preference. Whatever you decide, learn it well and use it much. For my selection, I have the Extreme Patriot 105. As you can see, it's hooked up. That's really my main airbrush. You can do detail work with this. Gives you a nice spray. You can do anything. It's got the high trigger, which I like. You can see your finger just rests on it, and it just is to me a beautiful airbrush. And this is my workhorse right here. That is what I use a ton of. I do detailing with this, but when it really comes to something getting in there for the eyes and the different finer points of the kit, I always reach over and I grab my Patriot Chrome. Another great brush. I might convert this to a high trigger because I've got so comfortable with that one. But this has been a great airbrush to me, and I use this for all the detailing. Big cup, easy to go. One thing I wish they did with this is I wish this was like the Patriot 105. If you're watching this, Ken, I know it's probably not in your design, but maybe you can make a new one. The Talking Models edition. To take the needle out of this, you have to take everything apart. You basically have to unscrew this. Not that it's a lot of work, but it slows you down. Get what I'm saying? Unscrew it, pull the needle out, clean it, put it back in, and then you just tighten it back up, and you're ready to roll. The other one, you just untighten and the needle slides right out. So this is a great fine detail brush. And of course, if you're old school like me, there's the Soltar 2020. This is just an amazing brush for detail work. It's got a smaller cup, so again, when you're doing a lot of detail, you're not going to load this thing up anyway. You're on a purpose, you're on a mission, you're detailing. Another great brush. Badger does now have a Soltar 2020 Slim that they just came out with. Haven't looked at that one yet. I mean, I've got these three, a fourth brush coming. I think I got 3 more spares over there. I have another Chrome, another Extreme Patriot. Can you have enough airbrushes, right? I mean, it's like for me, can you eat enough pizza? No. So my brushes are there. If one gets clogged, messed up too bad and I can't fix it, I'm going to send it to Badger. Labor's free. You'll pay for the parts if it's out of warranty, but you get the stuff back. And I have backups so I can keep painting. So that, basically, you can see with the airbrush setup, everything is in reach. And everything's good for me so I can keep flowing. The size of your bench or your work area is totally up to you. A year ago when I finished the studio, my wife found this beautiful bench here. It's got metal legs, and it was just a great investment. You can see the size of it. I don't feel cramped. I can move. I can place different things all over the bench. And again, everything is in arm reach. Bring it all over to the spinning wheel and you do your painting. So invest in a good bench. Height is very important. As you can see here, this is a good height for me. My wife got me this chair back here, so I'm comfortable with arms. And this is good too. It tended to be, I raised it up as high as it could go, and I still felt just a little short. So I have this sweet cushion that I'm sitting on here, which helps the buttocks after you're sitting there forever and everybody thinks you're dead, but you're painting. And that raised me up to the right height. So now everything is right there. And that's very important, is your height and how you have things set up. Because think about it, I had neck injuries from my motorcycle accident. I had a separated 7th vertebrae. So I have neck issues, I have headaches. I don't paint as long at the bench as I used to because I can't. Between the struggles of my brain injury and my neck, I lose focus for a while and I got to walk away. But it's very important that you get all that right, because think about it, you're doing detail, you're hunched over, and if you're down like this, see what's happening. So you want to get tight into the bench and be able to do your work. So make sure that you get everything set up to you and that everything is the right height, because you spend a lot of time there. Your wife might say that you spend more time here than you do with her. Ooh, but I get it. So very important. Get everything set as you see within reach of what you're doing. And that way, it makes things more comfortable. Everything flows. And you're enjoying what you're doing and you're not frustrated. Because you got to get up, look for that paint, do those things, get your airbrush. Everything's there. Paint, everything is where you want it to be. And that's how I decided to set up this workbench area. Another cool little investment is, again, it's like a little painting wheel. And you can get these, I think they're 99 cents. I got these at Hobby Lobby. And I keep different spare parts in here for the airbrush, some of my disconnect stuff. But you see, I just put paints in all these and I use those. And again, place it here so I can dip in. Because like you've seen my videos, a lot of things I base coat in black using this, again, see, arm's reach. The sweet black paint, and I just squeeze a bunch of it into here. And then I'm able to just keep rolling, paint everything. These are great. You can put all your colors in there for mixing. A cheap investment, but something that's going to help you have everything right where you need it, and you're not moving. Once you're in the flow, stay in the flow. And as you can see, that's my workbench. That's everything that I have, and I place that right here in my studio. And as I look around, I see all my model kits, everything on display in this area, and then I have the other area of the man cave that has all the wall hangers and many other kits. One of the videos down the road, I think we're going to look at displaying models. I can show you some of the ideas I came up with and things that I use to display the models, because guys, you put a lot of work into that. Display them proudly. That's your work, what you've done. Let others share in your hobby. And we'll talk about slat wall, which you can see back here. Great idea. You can put your shelves in it. It's perfect for my lady friends back here, for my Samara twins. They always keep an eye on things and make sure that I'm doing things, and they're done within 7 days. So they're always with me, always watching. Kits are all around me, so some days when I'm not feeling it, you know what I mean, things aren't going the way I want, I can look around and maybe get an idea on a color. If I look over here to Christopher Lee, look over here to Boris Karloff, look back here, you know, they get me going again, and they help me remember why I do this, to display these, and that yes, I can do this, I'm just in a slump. Work through it. So that's why this room is set up the way it is. And that's all today for talking models on the workbench area. Guys, really give it some consideration. Look at what you're doing. Invest a few dollars. Maybe buy one less kit. You know, instead of spending that $200 on a kit, you know, get some bench and get some of these nail polish holders and take some time to just invest in your work area. You'll be happy you did. So thanks for stopping in today to Talking Models, and I appreciate your support of this channel. I appreciate you sharing this channel, and of course subscribe to this channel. I'm probably 7 away from 100. Can you believe it? Thank you everyone for subscribing and getting the word out on this channel. I really appreciate it, and hey, maybe you pick something up today. So have yourself a great day today, and may God bless.